Hi everyone, welcome to the Bibispice Talkshow, and here is your girl Bibi, and yeah, I'm here with Joel, and he is an author, and his book is kind of as a result of the COVID, right? And it's
Yes.
very interesting story, and it's got to do with his family, his wife, and his kids, and it's something that I will encourage everyone to listen to, right? And it's available right on Spotify, sorry. And I'll encourage everyone to listen to it. So please, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, hey. My name is Joe Millpowell. I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Uh, I have some involvement in Christian rap ministry. I used to be a part of a rap group and two rap groups actually. One of them I'm still a part of. And just being born and raised in the city of Detroit, Michigan. The city life. But now I'm more laid back. I'm in my four. I just reached 40 years old, and I'm an author
Ooh.
now, and just trying to be more focused on God and more focused on what His will is currently.
Oh, awesome, great. Thanks for sharing, Jamal. And yeah, so we're going to play a little game, and
Okay.
yeah. So and this game is just about a man card, right? So I'll ask you some questions, and you'll kind of like um whether lift a man card, make it like is it for men or is it for women? Oh yeah, so it's
Uh,
just about that. Um, So the first one I'm going to go. So refuses to do any house chores because you think it's a woman's job. So would you like say it's a man thing or
I would say I'm gonna say revoke it because I feel like sometimes you have to split some duties around the house. So
yeah?
yeah, I'm gonna say revoke that man card right there.
I can imagine. Yeah, I know. You can't but you can't overwork. Yeah, anybody really. But what if you think that I'm going to do all the earning? No, some people do that. All the earnings, and then the lady can do all the house chores. Do you have that kind of mindset?
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 thing. We both got to work together to keep the house together.
Yeah,
But
true. It
cause
doesn't.
nowadays husband and wives both work. It's not just the husband working and the wife home all the time. So it's a little
Yeah,
different now.
yeah, true. Yeah. So wears matching outfits with his wife on Instagram.
I would say keep it. Only reason I would say keep it because me and my wife wore matching outfits a couple of times.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was cool.
yeah, true. Yeah, I don't mind really.
Yeah, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, true. So goes to therapy regularly.
I would say keep it, and only reason I would say keep it is because like therapy is very healthy. Sometimes therapy helps you see things more clearly, see your faults, see where you going wrong.
Yeah,
Uh, I think it take a real man to come to the understanding that he needs therapy. So I'm gonna say keep it.
yeah. But being a Christian, would you say like I know you've already answered, but would you like let's say like go back to the Word of God and kind of like yeah read the Word of God and get something out of it rather than therapy?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I have been there before where I was in the word, but I still went to therapy too, but I only went to counselors that use the Bible as they were counseling, it was more effective. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the route I think I would go with that. Being and I've been that route before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think is yeah how strong how your level of faith and how you can take it, I guess. But it's good
Yeah,
to talk because there's different kind of therapies anyway. Talking therapy and yeah, and um there's so many therapies, so it depends on what it is that you need for that situation really, I guess. So
yes.
owns more skincare products than his wife.
Ah, man, we gonna revoke that one right there. We gotta revoke that one.
Yeah, it's not all men that do this one. So want to be a stay-at-home dad.
Um, Let me see. I would say I would say revoke it because unless it's like not by choice, unless
Mm,
circumstances call for you to be a stay-at-home dad. But if a man is physically able, I think a man should be out, playing his role as the provider.
mm,
So if it's not any circumstances that would cause a man to be a stay-at-home dad, I
mm.
would say revoke it. I would say
Um,
revoke it for sure.
yeah, yeah. But what if you have like you've already answered really. But what if some men just kind of like they just maybe because of the wife's job is better and it
Hmm.
ends better than their job, right? So maybe they might want to do that instead.
Oh, you know what? I just don't think if a man is physically able and don't have circumstances hindering him, I think
Yeah,
he should be out. Because I think it's kind of unfair to have your wife out doing all the work and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's me personally, but everybody's situation is different though.
sure, sure. That watches rom-com alone and enjoys them.
Watches rom coms alone and enjoys them. Romantic.
Comedy.
Um, you know what? I'm not gonna knock that. Maybe keep it, even though that's something that I ain't into. I don't see nothing wrong with watching romantic comedy.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to just so uses baby talk with girlfriend in public or wife in public.
Oh, baby talk, baby talk. What you mean, like baby talk? No.
Well, just sometimes men sometimes act like babies.
Yeah.
Sometimes men act like babies, and so just being a bit childish in public with their expressions.
Well, I
Maybe
guess
maybe as a joke, or like
you know
or them it might be serious, but mostly it's kind of as a joke.
you know what I think. Now that you say it that way, it probably would be cool because sometimes like stuff like that bring a little joy into the relationship and a little fun just to be a little silly sometimes.
Yeah.
So we gonna say we gonna keep that one. We gonna keep that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me ask this last one. So still lives with his mom at 35. Not for caregiving, but just
Oh, oh, that one is tricky because circumstances is different for everybody. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna say revoke it because somebody might have a situation where they had to go back to their mother's house because of a hard time.
Mm,
Now, if it's a person that just never left their mother's house and never tried at all, like
mm,
we got to revoke that one. But if it's a person that's going through some stuff and have to go back to regroup, we
yeah.
gonna keep it because sometimes as a man, I feel like it take you to realize that okay, I got to start back over again, and and humble myself. So we
Yeah.
we we gon' we gonna say keep it, but under a certain circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. What does fatherhood mean to you?
I think a father is it might be different for everybody, but I think a father is a man that's taking care of his family. Something that I was told when I was a little younger is that we as men we are supposed to be priests, providers, and protectors. So I
Yeah.
feel like we are priests, provider, protectors, husbands, parents. We train up our children in the right way as best as we can, even though we're not perfect. I feel like a father is a caregiver, a disciplinarian, a guide, giving your children guidance to walk in the right path. I think a father is just a man that's taking on his responsibilities of taking care of his family.
Yeah. But do you think people can live without a father figure?
Can you say that one more time?
Do you
I'm
think people
sorry.
can live without a father figure?
Do you think we can?
Live as in grow up without father figures compared
Oh, do you
to
think we?
mother figures?
I feel like if it's a mother figure only, a man could still, a young man could still emerge, and families can still emerge without a father figure in the house because a lot of times, like it's other people around. Like we have uncles and we have other positive influences and things like that. But it's a little bit harder sometimes without a father figure. But I think with God, like it's still possible to grow and become the person that you want to be without your actual father sometimes.
Yeah. well, well, you still. I believe we still need we need every house needs a father figure because
Yes.
they are very significant. They're very significant in the life of a child. Because the
Hmm.
first of
Hmm.
all, if at all you want to make it if you want to simplify it, they're kind of like uh, if um the first um the one as in the first people to kind of like express love to their children,
Yeah.
because that is how, because they're
Yeah.
kind of like a representation of Jesus Christ in their
Yes.
household, right? So
Yes.
so I believe um every household that maybe there's no father at this moment, right? I know it's very difficult, right? Because
Yes.
they are
Yes.
leaders, they are yeah, they are they are head, like, just like the Bible put them, they are head of the wife, right? So they are
Yes.
really the head. So and without the
Yes.
head, you just have the neck and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and because the head sees everything, it's got the eyes, it's got the mouth, so it sees everything, and
Yeah.
kind of helps to coordinate every other thing in the
Yeah.
house, right? So
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
um, I'm with regards to, so can you kind of briefly share your story with our listeners, like what happened in 2021 and how it's changed your journey as a husband and new father?
So in 2021, like before my wife was set for her due date for delivery of our daughter, she ended up contracting the COVID virus, and you know, I was thinking that she'd be all right, and we'd get back to our normal lives, but it turned out that our lives will forever be changed. Like, so she went from going to the hospital, medically induced coma. Then she had suffered a brain injury. Before the brain injury, our daughter was delivered through C-section. Uh, I had to take care of my daughter alone for a little while. It was just a rough journey that I wasn't expecting to have to deal with, but
Mm.
it revealed to me some stuff about myself and some stuff about life. Being that my wife was in the hospital for so long, and we came close to losing her a couple of times, it made me value our relationship a lot more. So I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, like it made me want to be a better husband, realizing that I could lose my wife or our lives could change at any second.
Mm.
And taking my daughter home by myself, like that was one of the most scariest things that I ever did in my life. But
Yeah.
what motivated me to continue to push through that challenge is the fact that my father wasn't in my life as a child. He started talking to us a little more when we were teenagers,
Mm.
but I didn't have a father in my life actively, so my
Mm.
motivation always have been that when I have a child of my own, I would never leave them. I would always be present as much as
Mm.
God give me the strength.
Yeah.
So being I didn't have experience as a parent or anything before my daughter was born, but having that love and that hope and that faith in God is what got me as far as it did. So I was able to learn. I was able to learn hands on what it is to take care of a child and handle responsibilities, medical appointments, and
Yeah.
feeding.
Fatherhood
And
changes you a lot. And
yeah, yeah,
so does motherhood, yeah.
yeah. And my wife, she's still not able to walk and still not
Oh.
able to use her arms, and she's in skilled nursing currently. And
Mm.
until I'm able to transition her home, so our
Yeah.
lives have changed. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: even though our lives changed in those ways, I feel like God made us better people through our
Mm.
struggles because we got closer to Him.
Mm.
I got more into the Word.
Yeah.
I got back connected with my brothers and sisters of the church.
Yeah.
Um, like God can use a bad situation to make a lot of other things turn out to be better in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Um. Well, I'm glad at least you guys are coping. And yeah, and everything will be better by the grace of God. And so the book is titled "A Marriage Broken by COVID." Uh, produced diamonds for you. What inspired
Yes.
this title, and what does it mean to you personally and spiritually?
You know, so soon as my wife went into the hospital and I brought my newborn daughter home without my wife and stuff like that, I immediately started writing about the story.
Mm.
And I started writing about the story, and I was thinking about like other people that might be going through life changing events and
Yeah.
struggles that might be lacking faith, losing hope, or questioning their faith in God and things like that. I wanted to document our story as it was going on, to give people hope and with the expectation that God would do something special, and writing how I felt and writing what was going on was actually a form of therapy to me because it was a way to express what I was feeling, express what I was thinking, and
Mm.
express what I believe. And I just wanted it to be like a symbol of hope for people today that's going through anything because it's a lot of people that's going through things and they just don't see a way out or they don't see hope and things not working their way and they ready to give up. But I just wanted to create something to show people that sometimes you have to persevere and you have to persevere for a long period of time. And I wanted to show people that you have to have faith no matter how long life is bad. You still gotta have faith in God and believe that in due season you will get to the place that God wants you to get. So the diamonds in the book is just the lessons that I learned hands on through our trial and tribulation. Because
Mm.
I was by myself so long, all I had time to do was pray, meditate, and get before God, and God was allowing me to get more into the scriptures to find the true meaning of certain stories in the Bible, and He was helping me understand some of the life lessons that I needed to learn as I was going through this story, and I just was motivated to share it with other people, like just to be a symbol of hope.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Thanks. How can Christian fathers lead spiritually in their homes without being overbearing or legalistic?
Oh, like being the father in the home.
Yeah,
Uh,
Christian. Uh, you know, you know, when it comes to fatherhood, Christ, Christians portray fatherhood differently, slightly differently
mhm.
from non-Christians. So the
Yeah,
question is focused on Christian. How do you think Christians fathers live spiritually in their homes without being
yeah.
overbearing and legalistic?
I feel like we need to be more transparent as fathers. Like my daughter's pretty young right now, but I feel like we need to be transparent, letting them know that hey, we have made mistakes as well.
Yeah,
Cause sometimes when you become legalistic with it, it'll make it appear to people that you haven't made no mistakes and that you've been doing everything right. So
yeah,
the transparency is like what's needed. Like, I feel like when I get to have these conversations with my daughters, I'm gonna let her know, like, look, this is the way that we supposed to live.
yeah,
Hey, this is what we strive for, and if we fall short, we still got to get back up and continue to strive.
mm,
Because what I noticed is a lot of people that get really, really strict and legalistic with their kids,
mm,
those are the ones that kind of rebel the hardest a lot of times.
mm,
So, at a certain point, I feel like we all got to let God be God,
mhm,
even though we got children, like God is still God. So, the
mhm.
areas that we not able to help our children in fully, or the areas that we fail, we
Yeah,
got to let God step in and be God.
sure, sure. It's just like you just spot on there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So well, yeah, I think when it comes to Christian fathers, one thing is that they need to lead just as through the Word of God and lead by example, right?
yes,
Show people how to be a leader and also a servant. Right,
yes,
show their children, so they
yes,
have to be a leader and a servant because they need to serve the children, uh, and yeah, and they need to lead them correctly. And as
yes,
in that, I don't think a Christian father should kind of be led by other people.
yeah,
They should be
yeah,
led by the word of God and have my their own concept or idea of how their home should be, rather
yeah,
than them not knowing their children, because they need to know their children, but and know the kind of
yes,
standard their children should live, really. Anyway, that's just a summary. I know that's my own
yeah.
idea anyway. And so when it comes to um throughout those first days, but and weeks, like raising a newborn alone, especially while your
Mhm.
wife was fight for her life.
Oh yeah, like when I was going through that particular phase, it was like culture shock to me. It was like culture shock because even though I was in my 30s, I didn't have the experience, but you know, I was able to deal with it. But the hardest part was like, how a newborn wakes up every like 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah,
Ooh, that was the hardest part. But
yeah,
I think what got me through it is like just I was praying more than anything because I was actually a little bit fearful,
mm,
slightly, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want anything to happen to my daughter, and I was a little
Yeah.
nervous because when she first was born, she had to have oxygen for the first couple of days because her
Yeah.
breathing wasn't that strong. So I'm up every night looking over and seeing like is her stomach still moving up and down. And, I was just a wreck at that time, but at the same time, I had to stay strong and had to be able to pull through it. And I'm looking up now, and it's almost been 4 years. You know, I think it was a rough experience, but I think I needed that experience because, um, like I said, you know, earlier, I never wanted to leave my responsibility on anyone else, and I never wanted to walk away from my own child whenever I was able to have one. So
Mm.
I just was motivated, and I just wanted. It was a part of me that wanted to show my wife, like that wanted my wife to see, like, look, baby, I was able to make it
Oh
through
yeah,
all
I
of
can
this while you
imagine.
was
I was
going through
able
what
to
you was
say
going through.
where you were here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can imagine. And I know, especially for the fact that it was COVID period, even people were kind of like and not easily accessible, right? So even if
yeah,
you needed to hand the baby over to someone else, you couldn't just because
yeah.
of the situation. So
Oh
you
yeah,
just kind of like, yeah. Yeah, you just needed to um fill that space as at that time, which, yeah, well done for for it, because I don't think it was easy. It was easy for
oh
you,
no,
yeah. Because it was
no,
only you,
not
sleepless
at all.
nights, and during the day as well. You still need to take care of the baby as well. A newborn, even like I don't think even all women can deal with newborn babies, right?
Yeah,
So you can deal with
yeah,
babies generally, but not like a day old or 2 day 2 days old baby. So yeah, I think that
yeah,
was market, especially for the fact that
yeah,
you've not had a baby before. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Now you know one thing that did happen though. My sisters came over sometimes throughout the
Yeah.
first few weeks, and then one of my sisters started coming over every week, and she would keep the baby in the living room with her, so I could get a full night of sleep at least once a week. And
Yeah. Oh,
she
that was
she
good then.
yeah, she still watches my daughter to the day. She actually watching her while I'm talking to you right now.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So how did you manage your emotions, fear, grief, hope, while trying to stay strong for your daughter?
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a lot of days where anxiety was getting to me on a heavy level. I had some points where I was having suicidal thoughts. Um, but like I said, prayer is what always got me through. Cause you know our emotions is up and down. You know they're not
Yeah.
stable. So getting
Yeah.
before God is the key to like mastering keeping the emotions under control or just mastering getting through those emotions. I had a lot of depression days. I had a lot of anxiety. Um, a lot of like just hope, feeling hopeless some days. But every time I got before God, I would get through those days. Not saying that they came back repeatedly, but through prayer, I was always able to get through them. It was a very
Yeah.
emotional time for me, very emotional time. But
I
like I said,
imagine.
through God, yeah, through God, I was able to push through those
Yeah.
bad days. You know.
Yeah. I get. Did you have moments where you had to call the pastors and you had to call call maybe church leaders, or had to call anybody aside from your
You know
family
what?
members?
It was one point that I knew a lot of people that was believers and that prayed.
Mm.
It was one day I was reaching out to everybody that I knew prayed that had a prayer life, like asking them to pray for me. And
Yeah.
um I think it was really helpful though, because if it wasn't for the prayers of the saints, it
Yeah.
would have been rough. And I had brothers, and I had some encouraging brothers that they always. Some of them just stopped by just to see how I was doing. Some people just called just to let me know, like, man, like, we praying for you. Let me know if you need anything. That's what made me get back involved with the church again. Seeing how
How
loving and
helpful they
how
were.
caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had fell out of fellowship for a second
Yeah.
before all of this happened. So seeing how much love I got from the church and love I got
Yeah.
from brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
I said, you know what, I got to get back into the church again. And I
Yeah.
joined the church probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
back
Because I
in.
think that's one thing about the body of Christ really. Well, they're meant to be like the representation of Jesus Christ
Yes,
to everyone. So as in, if
yes,
at all you're not feeling love everywhere, that should be where you should go run
yes,
to and
yes,
be as in so
yes.
they can hide it's meant they can hide you there and show you the love that you've not experienced elsewhere. So yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
it. But yeah, and I believe that most people have such testimony really. And when it comes to, I think as a man, it was something that was a bit difficult for you at that time because even women, when they giving birth, they still have postpartum depression and all those kind
yeah,
of mental issue that they need to deal with because sometimes
yeah,
you hear heard of women whereby they will see their children say, oh my, this child is not beautiful enough, or this child ah as in they can't hold their child, right? They can't do
yeah,
feed their children, or this child is not how it should be, even though that is not the case. Or maybe the
yeah,
child cries, they feel that the child cries too much, and then
yeah,
they're not able to handle it. So that's why you know so they recommend all this uh, um, frequent visits after they've given
yeah,
birth, right? So it's not easy for
yeah.
women as well,
Oh
and also
no,
for
oh no.
your wife as well being there with COVID, and also I don't think it was like easy for her as well. But with thank God anyway, you guys have come out of it now, and yeah, it's a different story now. So yeah. Anyway, so what advice would you give to a man who feel they failed as father or want to start again?
I feel like if a man feels like he failed as a father, I look at it like this. If you feel like you failed as a father, you still alive today.
Yeah.
That means you still have a chance to correct whatever you think you failed at. You know, like sometimes it takes failure to actually be successful at things. You know, we don't start out great with things. We live and we learn. I feel like if you feel like a failure, if you still alive today, and if you know God, or if you don't know God, you need to know God. But if you know God and you alive today, get to God, pray, get
Mm,
back up, and give it a shot again. Like wherever you feel like you fell short at, then come back harder in that area and do greater in that area, and
mm,
keep working until you feel like you're doing great. And that's what I
mm.
would say. Like just keep working at it. You know, don't just give up. You can't give up. You know, like giving
Yeah.
up is not an option.
Yeah. But okay. So what would like a failure feel? What would you say a failure is like to a man? What will a man see and feel make them feel that he failed?
I think sometimes a man feel like he failed when he can't provide like he wants to.
Mm,
Or I seen some cases where men felt like they failed because their children got old enough to make decisions of their own and made a bunch of bad decisions.
mm,
Sometimes that can make a man feel like he failed.
mm,
You know, I think to me, I think them is like the main two things. Like not being able to provide, or like some men just get so caught up into work that they don't spend time with their kids, and
Yeah.
then they tell me they look up and the kids is grown now, and the kids have resentment towards them for not making it to sporting events and school events and things like that. But
Yeah.
like I say, as long as we still alive, it's always a new day to try to do better, even if you failed in the past. It's always another day to do better as long as we living.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to this, I've heard um some people mention like they, as long as the man is kind of like, okay, is able to provide, he creates some time for the kids, right?
Hmm.
It does in terms of like always been around might not be something that that will happen, and whereby the
Hmm.
children will kind of like, the children and the wife will kind of like understand, which they
Hmm.
will know that is a
Hmm.
sacrifice. Right, but I think it's when it's kind of like too much that maybe that the children will kind of feel it. Right, but
Yeah.
I think mainly it's about the provision. It's about the provision, being able to provide,
Yeah.
and also seeing that probably maybe their children is talking back at them the way they're not meant to talk back at them, or they are being
Yeah.
violent towards them or something like that, and they're not able to pass their wisdom across, or their just pass their information across, whatever they want to pass on to the children. I think
Yeah.
that's when like yeah, and when they feel disrespected because
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing about men. So when they feel disrespected, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah. 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 That's a
yeah,
big one right there.
yeah, but yeah, but anyway, I think it's just when it comes to respect, I think it's all round, because
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays you even hear children say that you're disrespecting me. And so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but I think when it comes, men are just like top. Well, that's the idea of God, the top on that. Um, I think it's just because sometimes maybe um life is not fair on men sometimes.
Sometimes
So
yes.
yeah, so some people feel that women get more privileges than men. So yeah.
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 Yeah. You right about the respect thing, because like one thing that I learned over the years is that most women just want to feel love no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
and most
Oh,
men just want
we
to
need
feel
to feel love
respected.
no matter what, though. We need to.
Yeah, yeah. Even when things not right, y'all still want to feel the love, and we
Yeah.
want to feel the respect. We just want to feel the respect.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. We just have to do what God has asked us to do to each other, because even the Bible mentioned it, that men should love the wife.
Yeah,
As in, it's just there.
yeah,
And yes, and the Bible said that yes, women should be submissive, and yeah. So I'm just
yes.
saying it's there. And but okay, and when it comes to being submissive, so
Hmm.
what is your ideology of being submissive?
Uh, you know what? I feel like you said, the husband is the head.
Mm-hmm.
If we following God's order, everything will work. If the husband is loving his wife like Christ loved the church and was willing to give his life for the church, if a
Mm-hmm.
husband
Mm-hmm.
loving his wife like that, and the wife is respecting her husband, like the Bible tells the wife to respect the husband, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think God order makes everything fall into place, even though it doesn't always work that way, because we still dealing with the flesh and we still dealing with sin. But when we following God's order of things, I think everything works out. So I don't think submission to the husband mean that the husband just come home and just bark orders and just you do this, you do that, But I
Mm-hmm.
think the submission is like us working together, and like if I feel, I feel like the final decision goes through the man, but it's all about us working together,
Yeah.
making choices together that's for the better of both.
Yeah.
But God has an order for us, But I don't think it's for a man to come home and just boss this woman around and talk crazy to her, though. Like I think it's
Mm.
just that structure in the book of Ephesians about marriage that we
Yeah.
should follow.
Yeah, but I believe that like, when it comes to the respect thingy, right? That it's not even something that it's should be demanded because it's meant to just
Hmm.
come naturally.
Yeah, yeah,
And what makes it come naturally is because the women are loved. They feel loved.
yeah.
Because there's no how you're going to like love a woman as you ought to, as Christ has told you to love a woman, that the respect will not come. So I'm just saying.
That's it.
So it's kind of like, the first instruction is love your wife, right?
That's
And
right.
then then the submission. So I'm just saying like there's no as it's not because it's entitled to the man. Is the respect is entitled to the man. It's what it's
Yes.
God has kind of yeah given them. So it's not something that they should actually even demand. If you are demanding it, it means there's an
Hmm.
issue.
Hmm. Yeah, that is an
If the
issue.
man
Yeah.
has to demand respect me and all that, I think there's an issue.
Yes.
It comes naturally, just as in it just comes. They
Yeah.
get it as in by default. However, they have to love their wife. I'm just
Yes.
saying
Yes.
then they don't even need to bother about it because they get it. Like yeah,
Yes.
that's it. But it's when they don't love their wife that yeah, that's when there's an issue. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, um so where did your faith fit into all of this? Were there moments when you felt distant from God, or did you feel His presence more than ever?
You know what? I felt like I had a lot of points where I felt like God went silent on me, and I felt like a lot of points where my prayers wasn't reaching God at certain points. But it's a book in the Bible that God had me to go through a couple of times during this season, and that's the book of Esther. In the book of Esther, God's name is not mentioned in the book, and God doesn't speak in the book. But in the book of Esther, God is moving in all of the details of the story, even though He's not mentioned and He doesn't speak. It's all
Mm,
about His providence. So that's when I learned, like, God doesn't always speak all the time,
mm,
but He always is working in the story.
yeah,
So the times that I felt like I wasn't hearing from God like I'm supposed to, but then that story let me know that some seasons you just gotta trust God through the season,
mm.
even when He seems to be silent.
Any men are taught to tough it out. How has
Hmm.
this experience shaped your understanding of what it means to be a man?
You know what? It put pressure on me to live up to it. You gotta have a thick skin when you're going through a tough season in life, and one thing about it is it's just some stuff I couldn't get around doing. So
Mm,
you gotta man up, strap your boots on, and
yeah,
and get in the battle. Fight. I had to fight for my wife as an advocate. I had to stand there for my daughter. Being the best father that I could be. I had to do
yeah,
what I had to do to make sure that the bills were getting paid.
yeah,
That the house still ran, even though I got a lot of help from the brothers and sisters of the church, man. Because it was one point things was really really bad for us, but this helped me become a man more than anything.
yeah,
Having to deal with the responsibility, having to deal with situations that I never been in before. it
Mm.
allowed me to grow as a person. It allowed me to grow spiritually and mentally as a person. And it
Yeah.
made me a better man than what I would ever have been without going through it.
Yeah. Well, you know, when there was something you said earlier, you had the mindset to kind of make your wife proud, right? So because you wanted to like say, oh yes, I was able to do this when you were not here, sort of thing. So I think, um, well, I think that probably that something was inspiring you as well. As well, Holy Spirit was inspiring you. The fact that
Yes.
you had a goal, right? And I think that goal helped you as well along the way, right?
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
because that was why you had to do. Because I know definitely it's yeah, men have to top it up, right? However, some sometimes they still need someone to when you get the cuddles and yeah the welcome and everything helps helps a lot. But I know as at this time I think your wife wasn't there, and yes you had some family members around, so I think yeah,
Yeah.
and also God helping you because yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's important that yes, you have to tough it up. Men have to tough it up definitely,
Yes.
but men definitely need a moment to kind of like chill. They need to chill. That's why I think
Yeah.
that's why sometimes just I want to go and chill with my friends. I want to go and chill.
Yeah.
As even having that's why when you have a peaceful home, you go whatever it is, you come home and then you're at peace, you spend time with your family, spend time with your children,
Yes.
your wife, so that all
Yes.
those kind of things are kind of like what helps men to be who they are really. Otherwise if they have to tough it up outside, tough it up inside,
Yeah.
tough it up everywhere,
Yeah.
what will be left of them? As in it's to be
Yeah.
so they can't keep on
We all
topping
need
up
a break.
as every aspect of their lives. Like at church, tough it up. At home, tough it up. At work, tough it up. With the children, tough it up. With finances, tough it up. With everything, tough it up. What is it now? As a
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
left. Yeah. So I think yeah. Men need some time to kind of relax. Even though yes, there's so much has been placed on their shoulder, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so do you have to learn to ask for help, right? Or did your support system show up for you during this during that season? So
You know what? I was just trying to tough it out and push through, but the people just started reaching out, sending monetary donations and asking could they help. I had people going to the nursing home, helping to keep my wife clean and keep her hair combed, and man, people just came in without me asking. I didn't ask people to do stuff. They did it from the love and they hurts, and
yeah.
every chance I get, I always let everybody know that I'm very appreciative and thankful.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Excuse me. So, but like, how with the fact that it was like COVID period. So, how
Hmm.
were you able to like um actually like even welcome the help and the gifts and all that? For the fact that it's also got to do with your child. Your child is still like fragile. As in, how were you able to do that?
Oh, like
Because
keeping
so
everybody
sometimes you
safe.
may just like say, oh, the risk. You may just like put the risk of COVID, and then the risk of getting help, and then
Oh
which one?
yeah, it was.
How do you weigh it?
It was a lot
How
of.
were you able to overcome that?
It was a lot of anxiety. I didn't let my daughter go. I didn't let my daughter be around too many people at all, and I
Yeah.
kept the visiting limited with my wife. Like very limited, because
Mm,
I was dealing with anxiety about the pandemic. I didn't
mm,
want my wife and daughter to get sick.
mm.
But thank God it didn't happen. But we had to keep the visitors limited.
Yeah.
I didn't take my daughter around a lot of people. When I had to take my daughter out, she was completely covered up. I ain't let
Yeah.
nobody get in her face, nothing.
Yeah.
Like just play it careful, but at a certain point, you just gotta trust God. You can't like just worry about everything. At a certain point, you just gotta trust God and live. If not, you will be in fear forever.
Yeah, yeah. So, but and what do you like? What's the concept about like asking for a man asking for help?
You know what? I think it take a real man to admit that he need help. You
Yeah,
know, because some of us will watch everything just fail and let our pride
yeah,
get the best of us, but you can't let pride get the best of you. Like God exalts the humble. Sometimes you have to humble yourself and let people know, like, look, I'm struggling
yeah,
and I need a hand. You know, try your best to make stuff happen, but when you can't, you have to be a man and humble yourself and let pride go. And that's how God really helps you know, when you humble yourself and let pride
mm,
go, you get blessed
yeah,
that way, you know.
yeah. So, but what if you're kind of like maybe the reason why you don't want to ask for help is because of the no's. So how do you encourage men to be able to handle a no?
No, you know, don't I wouldn't let it. I wouldn't let it break me to that point because I mean, some people say no, but I think pretty much we kind of know who we can go to for certain things for the most part, most of us.
Yeah.
But somebody saying no, I mean, rejection is a part of life too, though.
Mm,
But you can't just let one rejection make you feel like you should give up. Like
mm,
you gotta keep going and keep asking. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really really need it, somebody gonna help you. God always gonna have somebody in place
mm,
that's ready to help you. When you need that help.
yeah.
And I feel like you should always remember where you were. So when you know somebody that needs the same type of help as you, jump
Yeah.
in and help them.
Yeah. They, that when when the Bible mentioned about God's plans for you are of good and not of evil, right? So understand
Hmm.
when he said that, right? So it means that whatever it is that we need, even though we get a no, because I'm just trying to pick from what you said. Even though we
Hmm.
get a no, there will always be somebody out there that
Yes.
God will send to help to
Yes.
sort that issue. Or yeah,
Yes.
and it might one thing is that sometimes I know it might not be at that time that you need it. It might happen another time. But when it comes to so what is the diamond mindset and how can men apply it to their own struggles, whether it's fatherhood, finance, or faith?
Well, diamonds come from pressure for a long period of time. I think the diamond mindset to me is all about looking into the Word of God and drawing out the wisdom and illumination and the truth of the scriptures and applying it to your life in order to make it through your trials and tribulations with the
Mm,
hope and with the joy. So the
mm,
diamond mindset is all about like looking at things from a different perspective, looking at things from a biblical perspective,
yeah.
to help you move forward with life, no matter how hard it is. Looking for the wisdom, knowledge, and illumination from the Bible and applying it to your life.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, sure. And even Joshua 1:8 that we right. So this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, that you may observe and do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and then you shall deal wisely and have good success. Right. So
I
yeah,
like that. I like that.
yeah, so it's that we should put this book. It has to be there. We have to meditate on it, so that we'll be able to know what to do at the right time, what to say at the right time. So yeah, so that helps our mindset really. It really helps our mindset because with everything else that is happening around the world. Oh my word. Listening to the gospel and listening to the word of God kind of like edifies you. It kind of makes your mind fresh. It gives you a new
Yes,
concept, a
yes,
new mindset, really. So I agree
yes,
with what you said in totality. So that was I had to like emphasize it and to make sure that yes, I'm reading it out. So yes, it's very, 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 very important. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. And
yeah, yeah.
so now that some time has passed, how would you describe your role as a father today, and have those early challenges shaped the father you are now?
I think I've grown a lot as a father, but I think there's much more growing to do.
Yeah.
So as time progresses, I'm still learning more, but I'm around a lot of great fathers that give me advice, give me tips, share
Mm,
words of wisdom. So
mm,
I feel like I'm not all the way where I am gonna be, but I'm getting there as the days go by. I'm
mm,
growing, and God is patient with me as I'm growing, and it's just a process. I'm not saying I reached the peak, but
mm.
God is raising me up to be a better father every day.
Yeah. True, because sometimes the fatherhood thing, it's not something like you were born with. It's something like you grow into. Even
Yes,
motherhood, as in you grow into it because things happen. You have to learn one have to learn every day, and yeah, be
yes,
better and grow. Right? It's not easy.
yes,
It's not easy. Oh, thank God for giving us the opportunity to be able to take that office, because and also it's not only like to our own biological children, so it's also something we do by whether mother being a mother or being a father to other children in the community or like around us, even in our to our other family members. So it's not so we just
yes,
like we are there, father, mother every time.
yes, yes.
Yeah, because even people that don't have kids, right, they're still
Hmm.
in a position to take the fatherhood um position in the life of the other children.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I think, and I said I'll ask you two more earlier, but this one I'll ask you one more and then round up. So you say that God turns pain into purpose. Can you give an example of how your biggest outbreak became a source of ministry or impact to others?
Well, like going through the roughest patches of life is where you find yourself. That's where you got to draw from the scriptures, and you got to actually lean on the scriptures.
Mm,
So the roughest journey of my life was the biggest blessing in the way that it changed me as a person.
mm,
Even though God didn't change my situation according to how I wished, it
mm,
changed me as a person. It drew me closer to Him.
mm,
It purified me in character a lot more,
mm,
and it grew me. Sometimes that's our biggest blessing that we can get.
mm,
Being changed as a person.
mm,
That's the biggest transformation that took place in my life. A lot of people say that they see a different version of me right now, and I even see a different version of me, not a perfect version.
mm,
But I feel like God, when my life was falling apart, God is so amazing that He
mm,
was actually putting it together while it appeared to be
mm,
falling apart before me.
mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. So lastly, right, what would you like be your last words for the listeners, and also how would you like encourage them um to feel this thing we're talking about, when you talk about being in the presence of God, feeling God, how would you encourage the listeners to feel this? It's not something that you can hold on to, right? So how would
Yeah.
you?
what would you tell the listeners, right? Your final words of encouragement, and also um how they are going to be able to feel this thing, to experience this change in their life.
Number one, I would say, like, if we all go through hard times, we all go through uncertainties, we all go through struggles.
Yeah.
The thing that I would tell people is, that is the time for fasting and prayer. That is the time to get connected with fellow believers.
Yeah.
And that's the time to just have faith in them situations that you have no control over. So I just would like to encourage people, like, to get close to God. If you don't know Jesus, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior by believing in the death, the burial, and the
Mm-hmm.
resurrection, and then growing your relationship with Him. Get around fellow believers. And this is what's
Mm-hmm.
going to keep you sane. This is what's going to keep you motivated and
Mm-hmm.
going in life. Stay motivated, stay encouraged, and get around the right type of people. That's the best thing that I could tell anybody. And God has a plan. I know this sounds cliche, but God has a plan for all of our lives. And it's just up to us to seek God for His ideal will for our lives. And when our lives
Ah,
is in God's hand, He take us down paths that we never thought He would go, and He turns us into people that we never thought we would be, put us in positions that we never thought we would be in. Sometimes the greatest men of the Bible and women of the Bible went through the most challenging times for a long period of times, but that's what made them great. So
hmm.
it could be that God is making you great. It could be that God is making me great. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You mentioned about long term. Long suffering sometimes is
Hmm.
not too good though. It's not too good
Oh
though.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I've seen some skits whereby they'll say that, God, please, this is under here. Please, any suffering, please take it away. The one from last year, let it end there. I don't want another suffering this year. I'm just saying that, I know the Bible, in the Bible, it's encourage long suffering and all that, but at the same time, you don't want this the thing to be long. You want to get out of it
yeah.
as quickly as you can,
As you
because
can, yeah,
a lot of things can happen if things are taking longer to get resolved, because the solution the I mean God has made us solution finders. He has made us blessings, and we happen everywhere we go. So it's good to, yeah, when there's long suffering, yes, it's fine, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be like it's being facilitated by some people, and whereby there can actually be a simpler change, a simpler way to
yeah,
handle the situation, rather than for example, now somebody that is maybe looking for the fruit of the womb, you say that, okay, maybe that is long suffering, and then they are kind of like waiting on God and all that. It's quite different,
yeah, yeah.
because then it has to do with biology, it has to do with science, it has to do with your medicine. It has to be so many things. It's not just by
Yes,
one person. So it's not something that, so it's divine. It's God, as it's God given, but not like, for example, you are looking for a job, and then
hmm,
you kind of like say that, oh, yeah, um you're having going back and forth with jobs, so inside that is long suffering. I don't think it is long suffering. I don't think one should kind of see some things as long suffering. That's what I
yeah,
think. I
yeah.
think some things are not, you're not meant to stay there for a long time as a child of God, because that
Amen.
doesn't, that's what I think anyway. That doesn't represent, it doesn't put God in a good light.
Hmm,
There's
hmm.
some things that one shouldn't stay in, because you can, maybe something that you can sort yourself, or someone can help you sort it just by a click of a finger. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Why there are
yeah.
some things whereby they need psychological solution, they need biological solution, they need so many things to kind of click together
Yeah,
for it to
yeah,
happen. I think that one is quite different than when it's
yeah,
something that by the click of a finger you can find a solution. I'm
yeah,
just saying, when it comes to long suffering, that's because God doesn't want us to suffer. God wants us to thrive. That's my
Yeah.
own idea.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I see exactly what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
because there's some things that actually you can find solutions to immediately, as in, however, even if it takes you longer to get a little slightly, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can demonstrate God's power in that easily than some other things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so so thank you for your time. Anyway, I'm just going
Oh,
to
thank you.
let you go
Thank you
and
for your
charge your
time.
stuff. Yeah.
I
So
appreciate you allowing me to be here and working through the technical issues with me.
no worries, no worries. Thank you so much. Regards to your baby and your wife and your family. Yeah, for at least for giving you this opportunity, because if they didn't allow you, well, you know what I'm saying. If they didn't, if you're not able to squeeze that time, you won't be able to be here. So I'm appreciating them for giving
Thank you.
you the time for
Oh yeah.
this. Yeah.
All praises, all praises.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, take care. Yeah. Hello. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I believe you've been blessed one way or the other. At least you've learned about how to, as in, love your family, love yourself, love your child, right? Be there for you've learned so much about what fatherhood is about, and the issues that men encounter, right? And how they can cope and come out of it and be stronger, right? And to be able to take on their fatherhood office, right, and leadership office effectively. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, right, and comment, please. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. God bless you. Bye.